Hey guys, and welcome to Wrong Ones. We come to you after an exciting weekend of the first two games of the IPL. Today we're going to discuss the Mumbai and Chennai game and the Delhi Punjab game. Today we only have Noor, Ahaan, and I, but we've got plenty to say, and let's get into it. Should we start with the Mumbai Chennai game? And Ahaan, do you want to start us off with what are your first takeaways?
Of the Mumbai-Chennai game. So I think what really stood out to me is the way Chennai played. It seemed like they had a plan. They were all playing to a particular role. And it was kind of a sum of a parts kind of team. Like there was no one who was like going out there to be an individual star. They had all got assigned roles. They all carried out those assigned roles, whether it's Sam Curran who came in and hit 18 of 5, or Jadeja, or even while bowling, Piyush Chawla knew what he had to do. So they knew exactly what they had to do, and they all went and did it perfectly, and that's what won them the game. And the other big thing that stood out to me was actually Mumbai's batting, because when we were doing the Mumbai analysis, we spoke about how they look such a strong team, such a strong batting lineup. But I think Yash did mention at that point that there was a possibility that they have an issue because the batting are all stroke makers, and they don't know how to play the long innings, and they're going to be much bigger boundaries. So I feel like that definitely came back to bite them, and it's kind of made me feel like maybe Mumbai is a team that can be taken down if targeted properly.
Definitely. I thought that Mumbai bowling attack looked so threatening on paper, but they were obviously, we'll go into it more about their bowling, but I thought there were a few flaws there, and not everyone performed as they should have. And yeah, so Noor, what do you think?
Firstly, I was shocked. Like honestly, seeing CSK pull off this win after all we said about CSK and ending last, I was pretty confident that Mumbai was going to win this game hands down. I mean, their team is just on paper is just so much stronger. So like that, the fact that CSK pulled this win out,
slowly, no?
Yeah, Mumbai starts slowly, but still, like, it was a convincing win from Chennai. Dude. Like, it wasn't a close game. It wasn't that close when you actually watched it. Like,
yeah, I feel like they were never really in trouble. Like they always felt they were in the game, and so it was quite comfortable, even though the score, like it seemed pretty close in the scoreboard. That's the thing. The news. Yeah, go on.
No, I just wanted to add that, like, also like some really interesting choices is another thing I noticed. You know, some choices that for me were left field. Like I wasn't expecting a Tiwari. I wasn't expecting, a few people, especially a Nagidi actually getting a game this early in the tournament. That's not what I was expecting.
Piyush Chawla as well.
Yeah, Piyush Chawla, like I thought these guys will get games, but I didn't think they'll be in the first game. You know, they're just so like some really left field choices, but for CSK worked out. And I mean, I think that's the genius of MSD. I guess he does know what he's doing.
I had no
idea.
idea.
I mean, for sure. That's the thing, though. So you said you were shocked that they won. Like now that I think about it, I definitely think my projection for them was wrong. That like somehow Chennai always make it work. Like already I'm like, I screwed up. There's no way you're going to finish 7th or 8th. And somehow they always make it work. Like if it's Ambati Rayudu, some days it's Watson, some days like, Piyush Chawla will pick up 4 wickets one day. That's definitely going to happen. Something stupid like that always happens for Chennai, and they always win, and it's infuriating.
Hopefully it's not in the next game, because they're playing.
Hopefully, yeah.
Sorry, it should be in their next game, not their next to next, because that next to next game is against us.
Yeah. Against the Delhi game, basically.
So they always somehow make it work. Yeah. So should we go into the Mumbai batting innings? What are your main takeaways, Ahaan? Do you want to start us off?
For me, the biggest standout in Mumbai's batting was Saurabh Tiwari. No one expected him to start. We all were discussing this on the WhatsApp group as well, about how it was such a left field choice. But then Mumbai always do one of those every season. And I thought he batted really well. He paced in his innings beautifully. He played himself in. Then he took off, targeted the spinners, hit a few boundaries. And then the other main takeaway of their batting was their openers are key. I mean, we knew this, but their openers are key to the way they play. One of them have to bat long, because they are the ones that bring the stability and the calmness. Actually, not openers. I'd say top 3. It was Sky can do it as well. So one of those 3 has to play a long innings and bat deep, because the other ones around them can then attack and play as stroke makers. Because if you get all three of those guys out, then their batting, then they're all the batting is a bit one-dimensional. They all try and do the same things, so it's easy to it gets easier to get through them.
For sure. I mean, that's what we talked about with their middle order, right? Like, do you trust that middle order to be able to hold them together through a tough period, like we saw in the Punjab game? Would they have been able to do the same sort of thing that Shreyas and Rishabh Pant did?
I wouldn't. The first name I had to choose to do a rebuilding job would not be Rishabh Pant. That's for sure.
Yeah, we'll get into him later. I thought he did a really good job. We'll get into him later.
Yeah, in terms of their batting, I think, like I said before, Tiwari was a huge surprise for me, and I think he's a really good stroke maker. He has some really good shots. I didn't know he was that good, but he played really, really well. So that's a huge plus for Mumbai, even though they did lose. I think what I did notice is that the scores were what? Rohit Sharma 12, Quinton de Kock 33, even Tiwari was a 42. Someone has to make a half century or like 60 runs in this team, right? And from their top five. Because I completely agree with you guys. Hardik Pandya made 14 runs. Kiran Pollard made 18 runs. Pollard does not have the same dynamic. Like, he's not as dynamic as he used to be, guys. Like, I think he's still great, and I think that games that he can do fantastic. But you need to set that up for him. Like, I
don't know if that's true. I think he did. He definitely did that in the CPL. Like, he was really.
I'd have had him come ahead of Pandya actually in this game. In the game.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I don't think you can rely on him as much as you could before. Maybe.
Yeah, that's definitely true. That's definitely true.
Like,
but I still think he has it in him to like.
I'm not saying he doesn't have it. Like, he can make a quick fire 50. He can bat for like 10, 15 overs. I don't doubt that. I just don't think that's going to be something he can do regularly throughout the season. Like, that cannot be expected of him every game. So somewhere there needs to be around like a 60, 70 run partnership in the top five. Someone needs to make, 45, 50 runs. Like, I think Mumbai was 20, 25 runs short this game. And I think that came off, that was like the openers just had to really push and do that. They had to make that. They had to make that.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think it was a particularly difficult pitch to bat on either. And I think Quinn de Kock smoked at the top, and I think Rohit was looking good as well. It happens in the 20s.
Another thing, though, I did notice, this is something I noticed in both games, the idea of consecutive wickets is something that's been playing a role, right? Rohit Sharma got out, Quinton de Kock got out.
Yeah.
That can happen.
You can't lose a wicket. You can't lose wickets in bunches. That's cricket 101. You lose wickets in bunches, and you lose momentum.
Yeah, that's a huge thing in both games. And I think that really messed up Mumbai, because Tiwari never got someone, to really build, like, he didn't ever have that stability on the other end. And even, like, it ruins the pace and the rhythm of an innings. So you kind of build from the person before you. So if you lose consecutive wickets, you kind of take that rhythm up. And that's a huge downfall for any team.
100%. I mean, I'll put my hands up and I'll admit, as soon as I realized Tiwari was playing, I poo-pooed him very early. I thought he was going to be trash. But I looked into his stats, and I guess, like, actually, even though it was so unexpected, it shouldn't have been, because he's in form right now. Or the last few games he's played, he's made loads of runs in first-class cricket and list A cricket. His list A record and his first-class record are very good. His average is almost touching 50. He's actually a really good player. I thought he was like one of those hit-and-miss players, but it seems like he isn't. So maybe there's more to come from in this IPL. And I thought he played his role really, really well. And maybe he is a better player than Ishan Kishan would be at that same spot, right?
I think, why I was just shocked about Tiwari as well is because I felt like Mumbai had invested so much into Ishan Kishan. Like, they had put in so much effort and time into him, and they've given him in games. So I thought that they would just go with him because, they want some return of investment, kind of, almost. So it's a bit of a gutsy move, to put Tiwari there instead of Kishan. And I think it worked out for them great.
Yeah, for sure. So I had a few things about Chennai's bowling, and I'll start us off. I think Sam Curran bowled really well. He bowled, like, surprisingly well, considering he used to get smoked when he played for Punjab. So he bowled really, really well. And I've got Piyush Chawla, of course. Wild, unexpected return. Did not think he was going to play at all. And he bowled really, really well.
Piyush Chawla was in most of our teams.
I just didn't think he was going to play Ahaan, because even for KKR, I swear he didn't play all the games last year. And so I was like, maybe he's on decline, so they don't want him to play as such. They have him as a backup for Tahir if they want to change the lineup. And I mean, Nirmata is one of the best T20 bowlers in the world. So I was like, I was very confused when he was playing, and then when I saw him in the team sheet, and then he played super well. So there you go. That happened quite a few times this weekend.
Yeah.
Shows we shouldn't trust you as a pundit.
I'm definitely not a pundit.
Chawla does also look, guys, he's not the fittest, but he does look a little fitter than he did like in seasons before.
Yeah, that's what we said about all the players on this weekend.
That's the thing. So we can talk about this fitness like as a whole, and this is about the Mumbai game and also the Delhi game. Like, how do you think that COVID-19 has affected fielding and fitness? Because they go together. And because we saw many drop catches, we saw some players who were in great shape. Like we saw Dhoni, who was in soup. He just looked like a sort of like a movie star, really. He was in such good shape. But then you saw Rohit Sharma, who didn't look like he was as fit as he was before. And so, like, how do you think it affected fielding and fitness, COVID-19?
You know, I was talking to someone about like the fitness levels of these teams, right? And how some players are really, losing weight, they're getting fit. And they said, the players that haven't played for India in a while have nothing else to do, so they work out now. No, but I think in a serious note, I think the fitness level is fine. I think with fielding, I think when you're playing after a while, there's a certain mindset and awareness that takes time to come back. So like, I think some of the catches that all four teams dropped this weekend, they wouldn't drop if they were playing regularly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that it's also about getting used to the conditions you're in, because I know the lights in Dubai are very in your face, and if you're not used to playing on conditions like that, even like the first time you play there, it could really impact you. It'll hamper. So I know Shreyas Iyer was talking about this yesterday, because he had that one catch which would have won us the game for sure, but he dropped and the lights were in his eyes. So I mean, it's not an excuse at that level you should be taking your catches, but it can take time to get accustomed.
It's also about taking catches under pressure and fielding under pressure. That does change the game a lot. So that's definitely an aspect.
Fielding for every team will get better by just even like the more games they play. It's just about getting back into that mindset, because you can't really replicate the fielding scenario in a practice match the same way you can when you're playing, right? Like
for sure.
When batting and bowling is about creating a rhythm, you can practice that in the nets, but fielding is something that has to be, the more you play, the better you get.
Yeah, 100%. I think the fielding will be far better a month from now than it is now. So let's go into Chennai's batting innings. We can discuss Mumbai's bowling along with that as well. So how about we go into Chennai's batting? Ahaan, do you want to start us off?
Chennai's batting. So, I mean, what we can clearly see is their openers are going to take some time. Murli Vijay looked so out of his depth. It was scary. He could not touch Pattinson's ball. Like, they were going everywhere except on his bat. He should have been out. He should have been given. I thought the first one looked a lot closer than the second one, and he should have been given out. But that cancels out because he got given out when he wasn't. But, I mean, he was out of his depth. He clearly looked like he could not lay bat on ball against quality pace bowling. And I think it could be curtains for him, because I think the team they've got, they should look to get in Ruturaj Gaikwad and play either Faf or I'd say they play Ambati Raidu up top and put Gaikwad at 4, because given they've lost Raina, they need someone at that position who's going to play an experienced head who's going to play and bat through the innings. Which, if you saw Faf do even this match, because he realized that someone has to bat through. So he played a stable runner ball. He was almost a runner ball 50, and then he hit some shots. But that basically laid the foundation, and it allowed Ambati Raidu to go mad on the other end and smash the ball everywhere. So I think they need someone at 3 who's going to give them that 400 runs. And I don't know if you can trust Gaikwad, whereas when he's coming in at 4, he probably has more of an open mind. He's more allowed to play because he's got Jadhav, Dhoni, etc. behind him. And I think their batting, the highlight for me has to be, apart from Raidu, but Sam Curran, what a man. Walks out to bat 18 of 5 balls or 18 of 6 balls and gets out. He basically
smokes it. He just smoked it, I thought. Just anything that he saw, just killed it.
And it wasn't like he just hit he didn't just hit the Krunal Pandya. He also smoked Bumrah for a six. That was unreal.
Yeah.
Just madness. He hits the ball so clean. So clean.
When he came before Dhoni, I was like, okay, I want to see how this goes, because I was like, I thought, Dhoni should come. I think if Dhoni had a choice, he would have played 0 balls that game. I don't think Dhoni
You don't
wanted
question
that.
Dhoni's decision making.
Yeah, no, but like, no, it was an
He played
interesting.
2 dot balls.
Yeah, 2 dot balls. But literally, like, I don't know, like Sam Curran was a surprise for me as well, because I knew he could bat and I knew he was good, but I didn't think he could hit it that like long. Like it was insane. It was really good. I also think Sam Curran is a player who's going to really benefit by playing with Dhoni.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
I think we would like I was talking like I was watching the game and I was talking to this part with like people who've followed cricket for years, and we were all like Dhoni will create Sam Curran into a beast for England. Like he'll teach him so much that I don't think any other player could. So I think Sam Curran's for him the season is going to be really really key in his
Actually,
own
Yeah.
with
development.
Sam Curran, it's not just Dhoni. It's also the fact that he'll be playing along with Bravo, who's basically done the same role that he's done for
Yeah.
so many years. He can learn the slower ball. He can learn some variation and the batting. But that's the thing. I don't know if even after this performance, I don't know if Sam Curran is a certainty in the lineup because Bravo was unfit for this game. That's one of the reasons Curran played. And when comes back, I feel like they might want to bring him into the lineup, and because that opens up a slot to then play Tahir instead of Ngidi. So I mean, I don't know. It's up to. It'll be interesting to see what they do unless they maybe drop Watson up the order. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Um,
What do you guys think of
yeah.
Watson? I mean, we talked about Murli Vijay and you mentioned their openers. Again, I think Murli Vijay is just not good enough to play bowlers like Pat Cummins, play
My God,
bowlers
Murli Vijay.
There's
like
no, there's no, there's no point talking about Watson because like last season they'll back him for 12 games. He'll do nothing. Then he'll come and score 80 in the semi-finals, 100 in the finals, and then win the tournament.
That's the thing with Watson. I didn't see him once on TV except when he batted. Don't you think? Like in the fielding innings, he was just nowhere. I was like, I didn't even realize he was playing. I was like, wait, he's just batting 5 balls, and that's kind of all he's doing. I felt like he was off the field the whole time. But also he'll turn off at some point in time, right?
But also, to be fair, like, since we're talking about that innings, I think a key part of why Chennai won that day was because of Bumrah's bowling. I mean, Bumrah had an off day. Bumrah never has an off day. I mean, very rarely. So I feel like started taking it for granted that, okay, Bumrah, 4 overs, maximum 30 runs. And when he has an occasional off day, which now that I've thought about it and I've looked at some stats, he tends to start the IPL. The first game, he doesn't do very well. I remember last year, the first game, smoked him everywhere. So I feel like they didn't account for that because if you look at the overs he came into bowl, he had they actually managed to get to the power play. They had them on the ropes under 6 and over, and then they bowled Bumrah's first over and he overstepped. That no ball really changed the game because it gave Raidu momentum. He hit a 6, they got the innings going, and then Bumrah also lost his confidence a little bit. So I think Bumrah's role was a bit.
Yeah, and he has this whole thing about not bowling no balls. I remember he bowled no ball
against Pakistan.
No, Western
Champions Trophy final. Pakistan Champions Trophy.
Pakistan Champions Trophy final. And since then he hasn't bowled no ball. Well, that was his whole idea that he cut down no balls because he really worked on it after that. He didn't want to.
Didn't he bowl a few against West Indies in the semis also?
Yeah, he did that as well. Yeah. When Ashwin took a catch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think Bumrah, again, like we talked about this in Mumbai when we did the Mumbai podcast, but Bumrah is essential to their pace lineup, right?
I mean, obviously Bumrah is world class. He had an off day. Everyone's entitled to one.
He had an off day. But like Patterson and Bolt, I thought Trent Bolt was great. Like I thought he was moving.
He bowled really well.
Like I think I genuinely do believe this. If they're playing, even if they play Coulter versus Patterson, right? I genuinely feel they have the best pace attack in the tournament. Like
100%.
I was, even when I saw Delhi and Kings play, I was like, dude, if compare these bowlers to the ones in Mumbai.
I just thought they got outplayed. That's the only thing. I thought their bowling attack is really good. I just thought they got outplayed by Amdi Raidu and Faf du Plessis. I genuinely think they bowled fine. I mean, I'll go into sort of my take on the batting. I had Murli Vijay in my team, my strongest 11 going in.
Big call, bro. And your package.
Yeah, he was dog shit. He was really, really bad. He played really badly. But maybe he'll play again. He has the experience. I don't know. Maybe he'll play well some point in time in the tournament. But I don't think we can rely on him for consistency.
What cost him his place in the ODI team, in the Test team. His head kept falling over.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I was actually like, I didn't expect, like, Murali Vijay was in my team as well. I didn't expect him to be this bad. Like, yesterday when I was seeing him bad, I was like, dude, this guy is generally...
He did look out of his depth. He did look out of his depth, yeah.
He looked like he shouldn't play cricket anymore. Like, I mean, he shouldn't play at this level. Like, I was shocked as well because I thought Murali Vijay could have a really good season. Because he had the opportunity this season, to really cement his place as an opener. But, I mean, guys, this is the first game, What if he comes out and does really well the next game? We don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we've discussed a lot.
I think that's a lot. I think we've gone through everything. I mean, Hardik didn't bowl. That was interesting. I guess his back's maybe not in shape.
I think Rennies is back in.
Yeah, Rennies back in.
I think though Hardik not bowling was a big, like, especially when Bumrah is over to becoming expensive. The fact that
you can't not bowl Bumrah 4 overs. You have to.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
I understand that, but you also want to give, like, Hardik, guys, like, if you remember, I remember the World Cup, Hardik's also very good at somehow picking up wickets. Like, he does, like, when they put, like, just as a change, they put Hardik into the attack, he does at times pick up wickets. I remember India-Pakistan World Cup last year. Pakistan had actually got into a good start. It was Hardik that came in for surprise over, and Pakistan did get into
it wasn't Hardik.
No, Vijay Shankar came in after Bhuvi got injured, but Hardik Pandya took a few wickets as well that game.
In the middle.
In the middle. And he took key wickets because they were making a partnership. Hardik Pandya can sometimes come in and do that odd over and get a few wickets. And I think they missed a trick there. But maybe it's...
No, I think it's not.
I think it's more his back, yeah. I think it's definitely more his back.
Hardik Pandya needs to be able to bowl because I don't think he's a finisher. Like, he's great, but like
I think he could be in the team for his batting on his own.
Purely for his batting.
Yeah. He could easily make the team.
I understand that, right? But I think like what makes him really special is his ability to give you 1 or 2 overs as well.
Yeah,
key to Mumbai's balance, but in terms of as an individual, he could make the team just as a batsman.
No.
Yeah, for sure.
He can make any team just as for his ability to finish a game. But what makes him really, really special to me is the fact that he gives you that option, and that option is what's essential for Mumbai.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Okay, I think we've covered the Chennai Mumbai game pretty well. I think that was a pretty good start to the tournament. Let's go into it's just like a crack cocaine game. Delhi versus Punjab. Genuinely supporting this team is not good for my health or anybody's health in general. They just drive me up the wall.
Before we do anything, we need to start with one statement, right? We need to have a minute of just praising Marcus Stoinis.
Yeah, the Stoinis boyness.
Stoinis, this game was dead. Marcus Stoinis is an absolute legend. What a beast, man. He's literally, and I just want to say, I called him in my surprise package in the Delhi podcast. What a player. He came in and he absolutely belted Jordan. My God.
Yeah. Shout out Marcus Stoinis.
Yeah.
Shout out. If you're listening, come on the pod. We love you.
No, I'm obsessed. Like, it was insane. And you know what? It was so funny is that I still think he was played too low. I think he should play 3. If they're not playing Shreyas Iyer 3, they should play him 3 instead.
Yeah, him and Hetmeyer should swap, right?
But like when Hetmeyer came out, I was like, I get maybe left hand, right hand. I understand that, but Stoinis is a slow starter normally, right? Today,
this game, Hetmeyer batted at 3 in the CPL as well for the Guyana.
He's not good enough to play a
Hetmeyer, by the way, Hetmeyer has never batted below 5, I think, in his international career.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, what do you do?
I'd say, honestly, for me, so I was saying this yesterday as well. If they play Stoinis at 3, they need to. Then I wouldn't play Hetmeyer. I'd drop Hetmeyer for Carey and play Carey at 6 because Carey is more of a finisher in that sense, who can come in and start tonking the ball.
I think Hetmeyer is a better finisher than Carey.
But I think Hetmeyer is better than Carey as well. But I would just play him up.
Carey's coming off a century, international.
That's also true. Very good century as well.
I mean, he got out on 9, but that's besides the point.
Oh, it doesn't matter. That's cricket. That is cricket.
Carey also is a better wicketkeeper than Rishabh Pant. So like.
Oh my god! Don't get me started.
So,
Honestly,
like,
It wasn't
if he-
that bad. It was just that one.
no, he was sloppy. He was sloppy. He was
just-
sloppy, just collecting balls that were thrown in. Like, come on, man. You're supposed to be the next guy to keep for India. You're supposed to be the heir to Dhoni. You need like get to at least like close to his level. I know Dhoni was amazing wicketkeeper standing up to the stumps, and he was like pretty decent standing back. But at least get close to that. Like, I don't think he was even close to that.
Yesterday behind the stumps.
Huh?
Rahul was pretty good behind the stumps yesterday.
Rahul was alright. Oh, he fluffed the chance to get the run out on.
Which one?
But it was a hard catch. It was not when it just touched right before. No, but
The run out.
Which run out? Got both the runouts he had to get.
No, but he fluffed the catch. I think there was a catch off it.
No.
He dropped the catch.
I don't know if he touched that. I don't know if he touched that though.
Yeah.
He touched it. I'm pretty sure he touched it. Touched his glove. That's how it stopped.
But yeah, I think in terms of Delhi's batting, let's just say it was. Horrendous.
Yeah. How about we get into that? Let's go straight in. There's whatever. There's no point.
One thing to say.
Let Noor start this.
If Prithvi Shaw, right? You are supposed to be the next Sachin Tendulkar of cricket. No, people have compared Prithvi Shaw to Sachin Tendulkar.
They have. Yeah, that's fair.
People have compared a lot of people to Sachin Tendulkar. That doesn't mean they.
No, but in the same sense, like he broke Sachin's record in the Harris Shield, and now like he played for India as a 20-year-old, stuff like that, you know.
Oh, like Ahaan, this is like well known. People since he was like a 12, 13-year-old kid playing in Mumbai for under 19s have been comparing him to like Sachin Tendulkar, right? Okay. And like the fact that he comes out there and he just felt like he's a great talent. He has great technique. He's a good batsman, but it felt like he wasn't concentrating or he just wanted to hit everything too hard. And he just didn't want to play the way he can play. Like he felt like he was trying to overcompensate from ball one. And
I think that wasn't just with Prithvi Shaw though. I think it was.
And that was all three of them. The top three. Oh.
Not even. I wouldn't say it was Dhawan. Dhawan didn't really get bat on ball much. He just missed one down the leg side and he got run out. But I think with Hetmeyer and Shaw particularly, they were trying to force the pace too much. But that is the way Shaw plays. I mean, that is how he usually plays as well. But
that's not though. He doesn't force.
He had to realize that yesterday the pitch was doing something. Cottrell and Shami, my God, what a bowler! Yeah. Shami was bowling so well, and they both
so fast. He was so fast.
They both needed to realize that you have to respect the batsman. It's fine if you're. It's better. I'd rather my team is 20 for no loss after 6 than 30 for 4 or 30 for 3 after 6.
So to your point, right? To your point, this is quite well. Initially, it was like shit, and then after that, it was amusing because Simon Dool, and this is a pretty well known stat that if you lose more than 2 wickets in the power play, your chance of winning the game goes down to like 13 or 14%. Yeah, but the thing with this is, so Delhi did that, right, and lost 3 wickets in the power play, and then Punjab did it. And they lost like 3 or 4 in the power play. No. Just listen.
Wait, Ashwin bowled the last over of the power play.
Yeah, he did.
I think he did. Yeah. So they did lose more than 2 wickets, both teams. So how does that work? Like mathematically, do both teams at some point of time have an 80% chance of winning?
You could see yesterday, no one wanted to win, bro. They kept throwing it to each other. We'll get to that.
What's that? Sorry.
Their batting, but I think for Delhi's batting, for sure, I was really. So when we were 13 for 3, so I don't know if you guys remember this, 2 or 3 years ago, there was this season where we were playing against Kings 11 and we got 90 all out or 98 all out or something. And KL Rahul came, hit a 50 or 14 balls and finished the game in 7 overs and completely destroyed our net run rate. So when we were 14 for 3 or 15 for 3, I was like, this is the same thing's going to happen here. Thank God we have Shreyas Iyer. And he batted well with Rishabh Pant. I mean, Pant also showed...
Pant credit.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Pant also showed a lot of maturity. But I think Shreyas Iyer is a brilliant middle order batsman for us to have because he's very different from the rest of the hitters around him and he can really lay a platform and do very well for us. And I think the thing with Pant is none of us expected him to bat like that way. That's why it was so nice to see. But I also think when Ravi Bishnoi came on, he got a bit restless because he was trying to force the pace against Bishnoi, but he couldn't do it. And it annoyed him. And even if you look at the last over where he got out, he should have realized there was 2 balls of Bishnoi. He got a 4 straight down the ground. You've just got a boundary. You have your captain, you're batting with your captain. You've got a great power. You've got a great partnership going. He just hit Gautam for 2 sixes in the over before. Take a single, finish that over, and then get on to hitting the next players. There was no need to take that risk at that point.
Right.
You just hit a boundary. So, I mean, we're lucky Stoinis played the innings he did, but otherwise, there are things that we can definitely work.
I agree with you. I also think Rishabh Pant would have really destroyed the Pacers if he had given himself 1 or 2 more overs in the game, like later on against, I think, a Chris Jordan. Like, I think Rishabh Pant could have destroyed him like in a similar manner to Stoinis.
I'm not sure though, because the difference with Stoinis yesterday, Stoinis was standing still and hitting the ball. That's why he was able to hit Jordan so much. But with Pant, he moves around so much.
No, but I think they have different styles. But I think Rishabh Pant's a better hitter than, like, I mean, he's a huge hitter, right? Like, and if he plays long enough and if he gets a few, he'll keep hitting. But for me, like, I'm not mad at the fact that he went for that. I mean, I get your point. But I feel like that ball was hittable. I think he just didn't execute. The ball he got out and wasn't like a great delivery. I think he went for the right choice of No, I think it was fine. I think he just didn't execute it well.
That's one thing that Shreyas Iyer did really well yesterday. If you saw Shreyas Iyer's batting, he hit everything in the V. Like, he just kept his.
They're different batsmen. You can't expect.
That's fine. That doesn't matter. There can be different batsmen. The point is when you're seeing. No, but if you look, okay, compare the 4 batsmen that batted, those 5 batsmen, okay? You've got Hetmeyer, Shaw, forget Dhawan, but Hetmeyer and Shaw, who are hitting across the line. You've seen how much they struggle. Shaw gets out trying to pull one and skies it. Hetmeyer leaning edge. He also got dropped like 5 balls before. And then you've seen Shreyas Iyer, who's been successful. He's hitting it straight back, straight down, straight down, straight. You can see the pitch is playing tough if you're trying to hit crossbar. Hit it straight, hit it down the V. But instead, and that's why he got his 4. The ball before he hit it straight. But then he tried to sweep it to the leg side, and then he inside edged it. And let's give credit to Bishnoi. He bowled really, really well.
Oh my God, so well. So I'll get into this. I think that was the best IPL debut for an Indian bowler I've seen. I thought that was very, very impressive, especially in under. Okay, I guess that's a pretty big statement. Let's say an under 19 graduate, guy going from under 19 cricket to playing in the IPL.
The under 19 transition has not been great for a lot of players.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, exactly. He showed that actually maybe they don't need Mujibur Rahman, which is wild, right? Well, he's one of the best players in the world, Mujibur Rahman. So that was incredible, and it's great for Kings 11 because that really helps with that balance. They can choose other overseas players. I thought I'll go into Delhi's batting. I thought Akshar Patel is poo-poo when it comes to playing fast bowling. I don't think he can play fast bowling that well. I stand by this. Struggles
7, 8.
Struggles. I know, but he struggles with if he can be the finisher, right? If he can't play fast bowling that well, then I don't think it's gonna work.
Yesterday, he's hit the fast bowlers in earlier seasons.
He can't play the short ball either.
Okay, but that's a lot of.
I agree with Kabir. I don't think he's as bad a finisher as Kabir's saying, but he definitely does struggle against pace more than spin.
Yeah.
I think he's a lot more effective against bowlers who are bowling like Mohit Sharma's pace or like Siddharth Kauli's pace, that kind of thing, than he is against Mohammad Shami or James Pattinson would be if he played against Mumbai.
Anything that hits the deck really hard and comes a bit fast, he struggles a little bit. But picking that up.
Yeah. I thought, Jordan. Okay, I'll go Ashwin as well. So Ashwin, again, I don't think he can really bat T20s, but whatever. Like,
he had a bad innings yesterday. It was a tough wicket, bro.
Bro, he'll bat it like a runner ball. He'll bat it a runner ball.
I don't think he did anything wrong, guys, yesterday.
I don't think Ashwin needs to come in. I don't think Ashwin should not be batting more than 3 balls in an innings for Delhi, if that.
Ideally. that would be great, but this is Delhi.
Yes, but ideally, okay, let's say yesterday was an off day, hopefully.
Yeah. Actually, your point is right, Ahaan.
Like, I don't agree with you guys.
I don't think he's a better batsman than Ashwin at number 8 in a T20
side.
Actually,
to be fair, I'll sort of pedal back. I think, Ahaan, you're right. I don't think he needs to play that many balls. And when he does play balls, he doesn't need a batter at a high strike rate because his job there at 8 is to give strike to whoever's batting at 5 or 6 or whoever's still in and rotate the strike, get a single and get himself off strike so they can hit.
Exactly.
And he's
And
very
he's
good at that.
sensible that way. It's better than
Yeah.
some like how Shami bats when Shami just tries to slog everything.
Yeah, for sure. Or like Shannon Gabriel.
I don't think he had an off innings either, guys. For the position he plays, he rotated the strike to the best of his ability. He knew he either had to go for a 2, a 4, or a 6.
That ball he got out, he played a beautiful shot.
Yeah, 100%. That was such a good option. I mean, we're being finicky because it's Delhi, but
and also
still.
he had this really good shot where he backed away and smashed it over the bowler, and he got 2. So,
I don't even think
but there
he
is
had a
one
bad
thing:
game.
Ashwin needs to run a bit faster in the game. There were a couple of chances yesterday where Stoinis wanted 2, but he couldn't get it because Ashwin was not.
This is a big difference maker, I thought. I thought because Jordan was there at the end for Mayank Agarwal, they could run those 2s. And Ashwin being there with Stoinis, they couldn't run those.
They were not all full runs.
Oh, well, yeah, we will get into that later. I thought Shami was unreal. The pitch was doing bits, and he really took advantage of it. Jordan, I've literally in my notes I've got yikes. Like yikes in capital letters.
He picked him up so much. What was it? No one is a factor player. No one has bowled more death overs than him.
I was wrong.
Yeah, no. The only person who's bowled more death overs than him is Bravo, and he has a better economy rate. But he got smoked. He couldn't find his length.
I think if you hear what Stoinis said between innings, it made a lot of difference because he played them literally 3 weeks, like 2 weeks before that.
Yeah.
And he said that they've been trying to bowl outside off, so I moved my stance and I stood there, which means like obviously playing him earlier helped. And therefore,
for sure.
And Stoinis was just like, sometimes it's just your day, you can't do anything about it.
Exactly.
I mean, even with the bowling, it's just your day and you have to accept it as the batsman's day.
Yeah, for sure.
Jordan's economy wasn't bad until that last over.
If you look at Kings 11 bowling card, it's the most wild thing. Shami's got at like 3 point something. Vishnu has got 5 point something. Gautam has gone for 9s. Jordan has gone for 14. And then there's who's the fifth bowler? Cottrell. Cottrell went for like 6. Like what kind of it's literally bowlers that got smashed.
Yeah, literally.
So one thing with Cottrell, guys, I don't know. Like this is my problem with a few of the newer West Indies bowlers in general is that like they can be fantastic. Like Cottrell didn't recover after he got smashed with the first ball of his last over. Like
I think that's way too general.
That's what like I feel like at least that's what I felt with Cottrell. Sometimes with these bowlers, like they're not able to recover their over.
Yeah,
like,
that happens with all bowlers too. But I think the West Indian players
by the time
might be better at that.
The ball is over. Stoinis was in the zone. He was hitting everything.
I don't
think in that over, even the commentator said this. I don't think Rahul's field placing helped. It really threw off the plans of what Cottrell was trying to do.
Yeah, I mean even Jordan couldn't really bowl to his field. He bowled it all over the place.
But we did say that bowling is a massive issue for these guys. We said it in the team analysis.
I also wanted to mention something about like the whole number 3 situation for Delhi. Like at first when we were making our teams, I was like, I really don't want them to put Rahane in at 3 because I think if you have Hetmeyer or Carey, you just play one of them, you get more finishing power. You just, you get a stronger middle order. But like I don't think Hetmeyer can play at 3. And if they want to play to fill in that position, I don't mind them playing Rahane. He's a good batsman, guys. He's great. But like,
I don't think you can judge Hetmeyer on one inning.
Yeah.
Not a good at 3.
I don't.
Yesterday the ball was swinging.
He didn't do that. What were his CPL figures this year?
When his CPL was average, but when the ball
was not that great at all.
Rahane is an important player. I feel Rahane is an important player, and he will become important after the second half of the tournament because they're playing on 3 pitches. They will start slowing down dramatically, and when that happens, and you need players who are very good against spin and all, then I feel like we might only play 3 foreigners and play Rahane, or maybe play Rahane instead of Hetmeyer, and then play Lamichane down the order.
Rahane is better at facing fast bowling than he is at facing spin.
But he's a good player of spin. He's a better player of spin than Hetmeyer is.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I don't think Rahane is the answer there. I think Shreyas and Pant should, like, they know how to do it and they can do what Rahane would have done in the same situation. And so I think we've got that base covered. It's just about like clicking in the power play and making sure that we're constantly ticking along, getting boundaries and all that.
I think if we lose a wicket early, we should send Shreyas up the order. But if we bat deep, then we lose and someone else.
Yeah.
I mean, we touched upon this like a little bit before, but I want to talk about this a little bit more because this just confused me. As a Delhi fan, we've made a lot of decisions in the past that have just completely confused me. But why put Hetmeyer at 3 yesterday when you were 2 down?
Basically,
I think that was because to take advantage of the power play and to try and.
The thing is the left-right combination. It's also because when you play in a game like this, I think Ponting likes the idea of a hitter at number 3. If the thing goes early, someone who will take advantage, hit the runs, and then also because I think when you put Iyer at 4, it kind of solidifies your middle order. And like we were speaking about how last year we crumbled when Iyer got out. By having him solidify the middle order, it kind of makes it a bit longer. It makes it better for him.
You're right. Yeah, definitely, 100%. Like when he gets out, like you don't panic.
Yeah, exactly.
I just don't think Hetmeyer should play at 3. I think he should play at.
But maybe they chose the wrong option of the 2 foreigners to bat at 3. But I think the idea was right.
The idea was right, exactly. Okay, we've gone way too long for Delhi batting. Now let's go and talk about Punjab's batting and our bowling. Let's get into it. So, Ahaan, do you want to start
about Mayank Agarwal's batting or Punjab's batting?
Punjab's batting and obviously Mayank Agarwal's
batting apart from Mayank Agarwal was quite honestly terrible. KL Rahul batted well. He got a good ball from Mohit Sharma, but even he didn't look like normal KL Rahul. He didn't look as fluent as he usually does. He got that 1-6, which was a gift. It was literally on the pads. Anyone could have hit that.
No ball also, right?
But it was a free hit as well. But he got otherwise Mayank also actually, if you look at it, Mayank started slowly, and he was like 1 of 10 at some point when
he was struggling. He was really struggling at the start.
He got in much later, but I think apart from that, there were some really stupid shots in that innings by even by Punjab. Maxwell's shot was like, what are you doing at that stage? But it's Maxwell. I mean, you can't really say anything. Sarfaraz as well, you play building a partnership. Why did you charge and try to tonk the ball? You could see the spinners are bowling well. Just knock him around, take the singles. And who else? Who batted? Karun Nair. First ball Ashwin is bowling in the IPL, like in this season. First ball of the match. Why would you take him on? Literally take a single. It's not like he was also not well set. I just didn't understand some of their shot selection. But I'm not complaining because the short selection in the last 2 balls definitely won us the game. I feel bad for him, but honestly, when you need 1 to win of 3 balls, Mayank Agarwal, you should not be playing that shot.
Yeah,
I completely agree with you. I mean, Mayank Agarwal is separate. Actually, how about Noor? Noor, go into it. Yeah, I'll finish this off.
I was thinking about what you guys think about Mayank Agarwal's start. Like, yeah, he was a bit slow. He also didn't get a ball till like the 2nd over or something like that. He didn't, so that maybe that's why. And also his wickets were falling around him. He couldn't really accelerate to the speed.
But if you look at the partnership with KL.
I think, but then KL was taking a more attacking stance. I don't think he was struggling as much as you guys are saying he was at the start. I think he was just taking his time and playing which was at first was playing the more silent role compared to a KL. And then when wickets started falling in clusters, he then was like, okay, I just got to survive this patch. Like, he's not going to attack when his
I understand your point, but no, there was a point where he was like 3 of 10 and then like 10 of 20. Like, you can't be that pace in a T20 game. Even if you're playing second fiddle, at least we run a ball, rotate the strike, run a ball.
I mean, who could he rotate the strike with? Everyone was getting out.
But he was
but in the beginning,
you can't bat 1 of 10 like to start.
Yeah.
No, I understand what you guys are saying. I don't think it was. I think
it was
also
brilliant innings. Like
batting after a while.
Very well, but I'm just saying we're picking something.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool that Mayank and KL got to open together. They've grown up together. I thought that was pretty like heartwarming.
And then Karun Nair at 3. All 3 of them have grown up together.
Exactly. It's a pretty heartwarming moment.
Yeah, but Karun Nair really, like, the way he got out was really disappointing.
Just give him time. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah. No, I think he's like no one can ever just doubt his position in this team because he's really talented. But just
I don't
I
know.
wanted to
I feel
see
like
him
if there's
have a
one
better
player in that
start.
team, they would think of getting out. It would be Karun for.
Yeah, he is expendable, but I think he's a.
I don't know what other Indian options do they have for their top batting. I don't think he's that expensive.
They have the option of bringing in Huda and then pushing Puran up and then playing Hasarfraz maybe at 4
Not
max.
if they're not playing Gale right now. So as long as Gale's not out,
Yeah.
they don't.
Okay, let's go. So you're talking about Huda. Ahaan, you were right. Sarfraz played over Huda. And I actually think Sarfraz is going to play fine. He'll play fine in the IPL. He's going to do the same. Like I think you mentioned this on our WhatsApp chat that he's going to play a similar role as Saurabh Tiwari, and I think that's definitely true. And I hope he does play well because again, like he's been playing well recently, and it just seems like he's fitter. He was throwing himself around the field. He seemed like really into it, and he's found his love for the game almost. And it's great to see, and I think he'll play well this IPL now.
Yeah, I think he could be a key player for them. But I mean, I think Maxwell and Puran have to.
Yeah.
That was really disappointing as well.
Can you imagine getting two ducks in the same T20 game? How often does that happen?
Yeah.
But you also just are we getting to the Super Over or can I include?
No, not now. We're not getting to Super Over yet. That is at the end.
Okay. But also another thing I want to mention about their batting, like, do you think this is a question to you guys, without Gale, this current lineup they have, do you think that finishing is just okay or like?
Yeah, it's fine. I think.
Yeah.
I honestly think they should.
I think Gautam was good also. He made a good 20 for 14. He should have just finished the game, but the good little cameo there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played his role well. He attacked Sharma. He attacked Sharma.
His bowling was not that great yesterday, but his
I think he was up against Shreyas Iyer batting supremely. Like those are some beautiful shots.
Anyway, okay, so let's. Yeah, I mean, yeah. What do you think of Delhi's bowling?
I think KG Rabada is a god.
He's a hero.
And I think even what's his name? Akshar Patel bowled really well yesterday. Especially after
he bowled so well.
Especially after Ashwin got injured. He realized he was the key guy in the game and he had to bowl tight overs and he bowled 4 overs for 14 or something. That's like
3.5. His economy rate was 3.5, so you're right.
14. And Ashwin was also brilliant. I think the only reason it got so close is because Ashwin got injured. Otherwise, we would have this game much earlier.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was a big moment, and we can talk about that right now. I thought it was a waste of a dive. I didn't see the point in diving. He was such a key player that what was the point of risking yourself over that kind of injury?
I think he just those are spur of the moment.
Yeah, it's true. I guess spur of the moment. That's also very true.
He just got 2 wickets. He was on a high. Yeah. Okay, I'll stop the run. I don't
but that was such a stressful moment because I thought, shit, like we've lost the game here because we really need Ashwin.
He wasn't getting up he was on the ground. I think it's just I think he's going to be fine to play the next game. I mean,
I hope so.
That's what Shreyas said, but then it's up to the physio. I really wouldn't mind if they rest him for the game against Chennai. Anyway, our record against Chennai is crap.
No, he's going to be so important against Chennai.
I think he'll be important, but I also think I don't think it's that bad that he's going to be out for the whole season. Like worst case.
No, it's maximum a 2-week thing, but because Ashwin said he's fine. And normally at that age, you know your body, you know what it can do and can't do. And if he's saying he should be fine, then I believe him.
Okay.
Yeah, I also think we gave it away at the end. I think we definitely should have won that game way sooner than.
Our fielding at the end was a bit sloppy.
Exactly. I mean, Shreyas dropping that catch.
Not only that, Shaw dropped a catch. Rabada overran a boundary. Mohit Sharma fielding at the last over.
The ball was slippery also by the end, guys. We had a lot of view.
Yeah. But I think one more thing we're talking about the bowling. I think Ishant Sharma's injury, depending on how bad it is going to be quite important.
Yeah.
Because he is a very solid, reliable bowler up top, and then he'll give you that 1 over. And he would have allowed us to hold Nauthier back for a bit later. But because he got injured and we had to play Mohit Sharma, it kind of it gave them a clear person to target in terms of who they can take on. And they did that really well. Honestly, for me, if Ishant can't play, I'd look to play Avesh Khan. or Harshal Patel, because Harshal Patel can give you batting as well. But Avesh Khan has got some raw pace that he can ruffle the batsman with. So I definitely look into that option because I don't know. At Mohit Sharma this time he looked a bit like easy to hit.
Yeah.
To be honest, guys, his first 2 overs weren't that bad, with the exception
Yeah,
of that
yeah, they
no.
were good.
I thought his
The
first
thing is,
two
the ball
overs.
was doing a bit, and he's fine if the ball is doing a bit. But then when he came back in the middle, there was nothing, and it was coming straight on. At his pace, Gautam hit him, and then the other guy, Agarwal, tore into him.
Yeah.
I don't. I agree with you. His last 2 overs were not great, but I thought his first 2 overs were better than Nautia's first 2 overs in terms of what he was able to do. I wasn't that impressed with Enrique Nautia. I think he's gonna be in our team for most of the games though, because he is.
No, I don't think so.
I think he bowled so fast. I thought he was right actually.
No, I think he's holding
I
a
wasn't
pace.
that-
He's going to play first half, and then they're going to give it to Daniel Sams because his slower balls will become very important in the second half of the team.
Yeah.
Maybe so. Maybe
By
so.
the way, guys, the news has just come in that Kings 11 have lodged a complaint over the short run and say that it could cost them a playoff berth. So yeah,
That's cricket though, isn't it? That we'll go into that. Sucks to suck. But
There's no way they'll
Sucks to
reverse.
suck, right?
So, yeah. They
Yeah.
will, I don't think they're going to reverse the decision. But
they can't reverse it. They can't go back to the game and say, "Oh, Kings 11 win." That is not how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they convincingly lost the Super Over as well.
Exactly.
But we were talking about Naughty before this. Because I didn't look at him as a wicket-taking option, guys. Like, and especially his slow
he
balls.
was.
No, there were some balls that were good. Don't get me wrong, but like whenever he would bowl below 140, he would get hit. So when he bowls fast, he's great. Don't get me wrong, but he doesn't have the best slow ball.
And he bowled so fast though. That's awesome, right? Like it's just.
Sometimes
It was just so.
watch someone's team and bowl 145 clicks.
Yeah, but his economy was 8.25. He gave 2 boundaries in both in 3 overs. Like he wasn't as dangerous as I thought at first. I don't think he had the worst game, but I think he could have definitely been a lot better.
He was a bit. There was a little bit of lack of match practice, but you can see what he could do. He bowled this one ball to KL Rahul. I think it pitched on middle and it swung. It was like a Tesla. It was what a ball. It's untouchable. If he can bowl like that more consistently, my God.
Yeah.
But I was looking at his overs. It was like he had a dot ball, 4, dot ball, 4, dot ball.
That was only
that's the thing. He bowls 4 balls sometimes.
Yeah. So sometimes, so his slower balls do get hit. So I think he has to work on that. I think he's the I wouldn't drop him because I think he gives us that extra pace.
I think Ryan Harris would really help him.
Huh?
Ryan Harris will really help him.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Marcus
Okay. Anyway.
I didn't bowl badly either. I think he was fine. Like for what he
Stoinis. Yeah.
He had to bowl, so he bowled. He should not have got those 2 wickets. They just choked.
They were not good deliveries.
It was a full toss outside off and then a full toss on down. How do you win?
Yeah.
Punjab,
when it's your day, right? I mean, that's the most cricket thing. When it's your day, it's your day. I think that's the Delhi game covered, except for, I guess let's go into it. Super over. Personally, I don't have much to say. It's a super over. What can you do? KG was sick. Our batting was decent.
I think we should name him King Rabada. Okay,
King Rabada off super overs.
No, just King Rabada. Super King Rabada. That's it.
Chennai Super Kings might have an objection to that.
Whatever, it doesn't matter. We know it's Super King Rabada.
Yeah.
And he
what do you guys think about not sending Mayank?
He was too tired.
He was really, like something happened to his leg, right? I don't know.
I get that, but I feel like I understand. I wouldn't have sent him given the situation, but I understand people's views that the guy's seeing the ball, he's hitting it. He just hit KG for 2-4 as well. So after don't let him to start, but once KL got out, at least have him as an option to not that it would have mattered because he wouldn't have got the ball because Puran got bowled next ball. But I'm saying that at least he was seeing the ball, he was playing it properly. I mean, maybe he didn't even have to run, just stand and deliver kind of stuff.
I would have sent him in. I think if he's seeing the ball as well as he was, then he should have kept going.
Has he played 40 overs of cricket?
The only thing is, sometimes when you're in that situation, you're 1 of 3 and you throw it away from there, it can really mess you up mentally. Like, oh my God, how did I let it slip? And that might have really drained him emotionally.
It's also motivating, right? It's also like, I'm going to finish this game now. I'm going to do my job kind of thing. So it could go both ways.
Yeah.
I think you have to send players that are fresh as well. Like, you can't send a tired player in.
I think definitely, yeah.
Like, remember when last year Delhi Capitals versus Kolkata Knight Riders, we didn't send Prithvi Shaw in, even though he made 97 odd runs that game, because he was tired. We didn't. We didn't send him in. He wasn't in the. I'm pretty confident about this. He wasn't there. It was just a punch near Sahir and someone else. But
I can't remember.
Yeah, it wasn't Prithvi Shaw because he was tired. Like, he was. Like, so you have to send the player, because then if Mayank Agarwal went out there, got bowled or got run out, then people have been like, you shouldn't have sent him, he was too tired. You know? Like, I think it was a hard thing. But one thing I was really impressed with the Super Over is, like, when Kagiso Rabada comes into the Super Over, what do you expect? Yorker after Yorker after Yorker. But the way he changed his length was fantastic. The shorter ball he gave to KL Rahul, incredible. It followed him. It literally, like, KL Rahul had no space to hit that shot. And, he's a great batsman. So getting him out was great.
Yeah.
I think, I think we should now, just for tradition, we should start now. Everyone chooses the player of the weekend, the flop of the weekend, and the surprise moment of the weekend.
Surprise? Well, okay. I have
all three. Go on.
I have one more thing I want to comment on, just like I want to discuss before we go into this. What did you think about the pitch, one, in the the Delhi Punjab game? And what did you think of the ground? Because that I saw, I'll go into what I think about it, is that I thought the size of the ground was so good. I thought that, like, you don't just edge sixes like you would at a Chinnaswamy or you would at the Wankhede, right? It was so good to see that you actually had to hit your sixes to get the runs. And there were twos around. I think Nortje ran a 3, like stuff like that. It was awesome to see. And the pitch was pretty fair. Like, it played well at the top. It was more like a one-day pitch, where it did a little bit at the top and then it flattened out. But again, like, cool to see bowlers actually have an advantage.
I think the thing is, in the IPL, we've been kind of spoiled by like 200 games so often and stuff in Chinnaswamy and all. So it's going to take a bit of getting used to, because these games are going to be 150, 160. And then maybe the second half will even be like 120s and 130s when it really starts to spin. So I think definitely I prefer it that way, kind of. It's more competitive between bat and ball, and you're always in the game. Yeah. It's not like going to Chinnaswamy and then you get belted for 220 and then that's it. That's game over. But
it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's more fair and it's more equal game. So yeah, definitely fun.
Definitely.
No, I agree with you guys. I've also always enjoyed the games that are like 150, 160, and then you have to bowl really hard to defend those scores. I think it's more entertaining to watch as a fan, because your bowlers then aren't just spectators who have to get rid of their 20 overs. They're actually participating actively. So I think it's great. One thing we're talking about, the conditions and stuff. The dew factor is a bit of a concern for me, because I think there's a huge advantage. I mean, yesterday was a different situation, but I think there's huge advantage for the team batting second. Like, the dew factor it's pretty bad. The first game,
it makes a difference.
So like, that is one thing, with the toss is going to be more crucial than it maybe should be.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Okay, cool. So
I think we all got a bit too excited today.
Yeah, we've been pretty excited today. Okay, so let's go into our, the best performance of the weekend, number one, and our flop of the weekend for each of us, and also like sort of the sucks to suck moment of the weekend, where cricket is just being cricket, and sometimes you get the rub of the green and sometimes you don't. Ahaan, start us off.
So my player of the weekend, there's only 2 options really, but for me it's definitely Marcus Stoinis, because he did it with both bat and ball. The other option only did it with the bat, but I think bat and ball he really He really stood up, won the game. A lot of people were doubting him beforehand. Can he do it? Can he not? He won us the game. So that's my player of the week. I'm going to keep it short. The flop of the week for me this week, it's harsh. I mean, actually, no, wait. I'm not going to use that one. I'd say the flop of the week is probably Prithvi Shaw. Actually, let's move from the Delhi game. I'd say the flop of the week for this week. It's harsh to call him a flop, but it's just because I expect so much more from him and he had a really bad game. So I'd say probably Bumrah because I expected him to do a lot better than 44 or 4 overs and they rely so heavily on him. So he's not the flop because basically worst performance of the weekend. Let's say it that way.
Yeah.
And
no, flop. I think flop is fair.
And what's the last one?
And the last one is, rub the green, essentially, the sucks to suck moment. Very cricket moment where you just kind of get lucky or you don't.
I'm going to go with, I know what Kabir wants to go with, so I'll leave that for him. But I'm going to go with probably Bumrah's no ball because it was a match-changing no ball and he's not bowled any no balls. And to suddenly bowl a no ball of that portion and then get hit for a 6 off the free hit, that's my moment.
Yeah, sucks to suck. Noor, how about, you next.
So my star player for the weekend was Marcus Stoinis as well, but Ahaan already said him, so I'm going to say Ambati Rayudu because I thought he was fantastic in the Chennai match. My flop for the weekend, I'm going to say Prithvi Shaw because I was just disappointed, the run out, everything, his presence in total. Like, I think he's just so much potential, and the fact that he didn't live up to that was just
I think it's
sad.
Just a bit.
Yeah, but I think he'll do better the next game. And then I'm going to say the same one as Kabir. So you know what, Kabir, I think you can also describe it better than me. So I'm going to let you hear it.
Right. So my star player of the weekend was, you already said it. I want to say Amit Rayudu because I want to mention how I think Amit Rayudu should have played in the World Cup for India at number 4. That's just a separate point, and he's just proving how good he is. But my star player of the weekend is Akshar Patel. I think he bowled really, really well. And he stood up when Delhi needed him to, when Ashwin was down now. So that was amazing. My flop of the weekend was my guy, Murli Vijay. I thought he was going to be fine playing this IPL. I thought he was, up to the mark, but struggled.
What a fall from grace. Wow.
Yeah, a fall from grace, exactly. And my sucks to suck moment, which is a major just like that you just got screwed over, was that short run. How does that, I don't know how that happens in this modern age where you can review these things and like you can make sure you get these things right. It's ridiculous that they didn't get it right, but you know what? I'm not complaining either. Delhi won. It is what it is. Sucks to suck. And I think we should leave it there. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you soon.
We'll see you probably at the end of the week. To give you a week.
Yeah, we'll see you at the end of the week. We'll basically do this week's games, and we'll do an episode probably Friday. So catch you soon. Bye.
RCB.